The BQQuote app now has a new self-quote feature. When you look at your drills, you'll notice there's this new self-quote button. So if you click on it, you have two choices for self-quote. You can do a single verse self-quote. What this entails is it shows the quizzer a reference, in this case Acts 3:1, and the quizzer quotes the verse. What this entails is it shows the quizzer a reference. Notice that when the quizzer finishes quoting the verse, it is immediately replayed back for the quizzer. And if they misquoted it, they have the option of clicking this requote verse button, which will allow them to quote the verse as many times as needed to get it perfect. Another thing I want you to notice is that when there are pauses, the playback will cut out the pauses. Another thing I want you to notice is that when there are pauses, the playback will cut out the pauses. So this self-quote, single verse self-quote, allows the quizzer to quote a verse at a time and get immediate feedback. Now let's take a look at what I call the multiple verse self-quote. And what this will have the quizzer do is quote many verses without checking each one. So here the quizzer will quote Acts 3:3. Now the quizzer will quote Acts 3:4. Now the quizzer will quote Acts 3:5, and they will continue quoting as many verses as they would like in this multiple verse self-quote. Now notice here, after 7 seconds, it gave the quizzer the unique beginning. You can, when you set up the drill, you set up how many seconds you want it to wait before it shows the quizzer the verse beginning, so that they don't sit there for the entire 30 seconds waiting to quote the verse, and if they can't think of the verse beginning, it shows it to them. Then, at a later time, either the quizzer or a parent can listen to those verses that were quoted by clicking this megaphone button. So here the quizzer will quote Acts 3:3. Now the quizzer will quote Acts 3:4. And the parent can continue listening. This self-quote is not meant to replace the parent-child quote sessions, but in those cases where you just don't have time for your schedule to be together, or if it's a situation where the child doesn't have the support at home, this gives that quizzer an option to be able to quote the material and improve their quizzing skills.